Welcome, everybody. This is the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast on Fox Sports. Once again, another very special episode for you today. We have a guest in studio, and I'm just going to list off a whole bunch of cool things.
Do it.
Okay, well, should we introduce ourselves first?
We could.
All right, fine.
We could.
You set the scene generally.
Let's
say you go through it quick because no one cares.
Yes, we're at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. Jonny Loquasto here. I'm at Jay Quasto. This one right here is...
I am Carrlyn Bathe. You can find me at Carrlyn Bathe on pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. And across the studio is...
I'm Scott Narver. You can find me on social media at Curtain Jerks.
And of course, Dale Rutledge. Follow him at The Walking Dale. But our special guest today, she's a professional wrestler, ring announcer, broadcaster, and actress who's literally traveling all over the globe right now, but she's in the Fox Sports studios with us today. Find her on social media at The Brandi Rhodes. She's Brandi Rhodes.
Hey. I was like waiting for more, I think. I started to like mentally tune out on it. And
You're
then
like, wow.
Okay, she is...
I am that and that.
Probably an
Also
excellent parallel parker.
Good parker.
very good parallel parker. Insane
really
parallel
knows how to grocery shop. Like she knows the healthiest grocery
No,
way
not
off
a
on
good
that
grocery
one, Johnny.
shopper.
But you look like you're incredibly healthy, so I figured you would know what to do.
I try.
Yeah.
Well dressed.
Yep, very well dressed.
Thank you. All right.
She could navigate LA traffic exceptionally.
She made it here.
Can I just say that I've been in 3 accidents since moving here?
No.
That doesn't surprise me.
All my
good.
fault. None of them serious.
I'm glad none of them serious.
You open Pandora's box. You have to tell us about them all now. Go ahead.
Ooh, okay.
Number 1.
Driving the U-Haul, getting here. The one time I had to drive it. The whole time Cody drove, and the one time I had to drive it, I clipped a car and thought about seeing the damage and saying, like, it's not that bad. And then I was just like, yeah, there's no way I can, like, fudge this. Turned out to be one of the neighbors, so I would not have gotten away with it.
So this was in the new neighborhood.
Yep.
The U-Haul's parked, and you were trying to just, like...
I was trying to finagle it in, move too fast. Other one, I feel like it wasn't really my fault, but I guess it was. But driving, and you know how traffic just stops here?
Oh,
just
yeah.
completely just stops, and you have to, like,
100%.
completely... Well, I was looking to see if I could get over. And I went like this, and then I went, boom, right into the back of somebody.
Oof.
Then...
How'd your car do?
Not great.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, I have not fixed it yet because number 3 happened. So we're going to have to... So then, backing out of my garage one day... So my car has like the sensors all around. Mm-hmm. It's a tight garage, so the sensors are always going off. Right. I don't pay any attention to them. So they're just going off and going off and going off, and then boom, I hit something. And it was a white van parked in front of the garage that's right across from me, which is it's a pretty tight spot, but I didn't see it because it was all white. So it looked like the garage.
Oh, dear.
Oh, jeez.
So do you have also one of those little, like, TV screens in your car that tells you about backing up and all that?
Yeah, which I don't like to use that because it confuses me. So I usually just turn all the way around. I turned around, and I saw whiteness. So I was like, oh, that's just the garage. And then boom. And I was like, how the heck did I hit something?
Oh, my gosh.
Insane. So
your next car will be a bumper car.
yes.
That's what we're saying.
Or maybe I'll just start using public transportation.
Or just become an Uber driver here in LA. You're good to go.
I feel like you have to have at least 5 or 6 accidents before you're truly acclimated to LA traffic.
Okay.
Honestly. So you're at 3.
I'm almost there.
2 more to go.
You guys have been here for how long? A couple months?
Yes.
All right. Well,
Oh, wow.
that's pretty good, right? How many have you been in?
I've been in total in my lifetime over 10.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, lots of fender benders. One really bad one that wasn't my fault, and it's LA's bad.
Well, yeah.
It is so bad. Whether I'm hitting a curb or when I was in a U-Haul, I hit a house picking up a bed on Craigslist.
House?
A house. Had to get a handyman to come patch the stucco because they were in like. What's it called when you're closing on a house? Escrow?
Oh, yeah.
They were in
I was
escrow.
going to say foreclosure.
no.
That's how many homes I've bought.
So they had to have it done the next
That
day.
is awful.
I was like, I know a guy. Let me call him. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my God.
How did you hit? There's grass and the things.
Mailbox.
It's a
between.
U-Haul. It's a U-Haul.
Wow.
Have you ever seen that? Yeah, I think it's a Family Guy cutaway about U-Hauls, where the guy's like driving down the freeway in his U-Haul, and it was like, U-Haul, we'll rent to anyone. He's hitting everybody, and then he's going, sorry guys, I'm starting a new life. Sorry, and like that's
That
what
was
it
us.
is.
That was
yeah.
us.
See, this is making me scared. I feel like I've lived in LA now for almost a decade, and I'm still accident free. I feel like I'm due now.
Yeah, because Because Carrlyn or Brandi will hit you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's amazing. So you guys have been here for a couple of months, and it's been a whirlwind. I mean, you both essentially went on a new path just over 6 months ago.
Yeah.
more or less. And is this the most fun you've ever had as far as you guys together and you guys just living life and just having the complete freedom to not know what the next day will bring?
So that kind of freedom scares me,
Yeah.
to be honest. But no, it has been a ton of fun because we have, well, in the early stages, we had time that we've never had before. Now things have gotten really busy, and so time is like it was before. It's like, home for a couple days, okay, gone again. But the difference in it is being excited. And I don't mean this to say that I was not excited
Right.
working with WWE, but knowing exactly what I'm doing and knowing that I chose to do it is completely different than going to a typical Raw for me back then was, I don't know if I'm working or not.
Yeah.
And that can be a long, depressing day if you're not working, for 12 hours and then driving 4 hours to the next show to hope to be working, So at least I know I'm working when I'm doing all this.
So back to that, that sounds kind of like the life of a wrestler on Raw as well. So you were a ring announcer, but you were driving from show to show, not knowing if you were working that night, same as the wrestler would?
Yeah. So for SmackDown, I definitely knew I was working,
Right.
which was great. For Raw, I was always one of the many at the time backstage correspondents.
Sure.
So you never knew, and I would try always to be like, okay, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I
Right.
do this?
So you wouldn't know if you were working that day.
Yeah, for Mondays, definitely. And that started to be like one of the catalysts for me to be like, I don't know that I want to keep working here.
Yeah.
Well, who brought it up first, you or Cody? Or was it
Me.
kind of a joint? Oh, really?
Me, yeah. And he wasn't even there yet. Like, not even close. It was more of I had to approach him and say, hey, because my contract was ending. His was nowhere near done. So I said, hey, how would you feel if I stepped out again for the second time?
Yeah.
Because I just had said, I'm so unhappy with not knowing what I'm doing. And part of my deal was I was not just going to ring announce. And
Yeah.
then at the end, I got just completely just the SmackDown ring announcer.
Yeah.
Which, if I could be free for other things, it's a great job. I mean, for me, it was
Yeah.
it was an
You
easy
were
job.
really good at it. You were very good at it.
Yeah, fun, challenging at times. Like it's not a bad gig at all. But having to be on the road 5-6 days a week just to get my one hit in is just it was too much. And there were some other, different things like creatively. I'm sure everybody's seen that video with the Rhodes Industries and stuff. That was what I was being brought on board for. And it just never happened. Once the Stardust stuff started happening, we could not get out of it. It was
Yeah.
like it was a drug.
Yeah.
We were just stuck in it and we can't get out.
That is interesting. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was wondering, because I think the common misconception is that Cody was very unhappy at Stardust for a long time. And when he decided to leave, you said, you know what? We're a team. I'm leaving too. But it was really not. It was kind of the opposite. You brought it up to him first, and he thought about it too. And I guess basically they said, you're still Stardust. You're not going to be able to change. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, in so many words, yeah. But it's funny, like when people say like, "Oh, you're like you're ride or die with your man." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds so heroic," but that's not what happened. Actually, like it sure made it easier for me
Right.
once he left, because when he left, he just was gone, and I was still there was a pay-per-view I think that weekend, so I still was working because I'm of the old school. Well, if I said I was going to show up, I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just not
Gotta
show
be.
up.
Yeah.
Hard as that is, but as soon as I got there, I just said I need to have a meeting, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we kind of thought," and I was like, "Yeah, well, just so you know, this doesn't have anything to do. I mean, well, it has to do with it now because
Right.
I don't really want to be here for another month and a half
Right.
under the circumstances. I could have. I told them like, if you need me,
Right.
I will, but it's probably better for everyone if we can figure out the end date and get to it."
Now, I don't want to get too personal. This was a very hot wrestling story that you're directly involved in. That is, I mean, it involves you, it involves Cody, and your livelihood.
Back to his father. I mean,
It
look,
does.
there was always there was a lot of contentiousness with the Rhodes family and the McMahon family going back years, and that wasn't very fair. And so it always wondered, does it linger?
But my perception of the family is that you guys have a great relationship with the WWE, even after leaving. And you don't have to speak on it, but is it still something that you guys are, if you saw someone, you'd say hello? Or is it very much like, I broke off and I'm done and I'm not going back? What kind of relationship is it?
For me, the people that I worked with were very good to me.
Yeah.
So, I can't think of anyone that associated with this, the company that I would walk past if I saw them. So no, I would never be like snub anyone or anything like that. I have really no reason to. Mm-hmm. More so for me, there were a lot of things that I just felt like, and I can't speak for Cody,
sure,
but I just felt like a lot of things weren't handled properly in a grieving situation.
Yeah.
Which who knows how to deal with it. Like, I have been horrible in the grieving situation for my husband because I can't tell him, I can't do for him what he needs, which is bring his father back. I can't do it.
Right.
So I try a lot of things. Some things are good. Some things are not so good, And I'm sure that many people in the company experience the same thing, and some of them may be feeling like ignoring it was the best thing to do. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't, but then some feeling like, well, hey, let's talk about it all the time. That didn't really work either. So, it's hard to say, hey, you guys didn't handle this properly when who knows how you're supposed to handle it properly. You really just don't know. So
and for management to go, well, what do you want?
Right.
We'll do that because it's still this era of like, well, no, we gotta
how do you
make
ask
sure
that?
what's in place, and we're telling you, even though this is awful, and we know what's going on. Oh, that was a terrible thing to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's terrible for all involved.
Yeah, I can only imagine how
So
difficult
hard.
that was. Because, I mean, if you talk to anyone who was at NXT for an extended period of time, Dusty was like a father to them, let alone to your husband and to Dustin. I mean, you look at the two sons he raised and how successful they are. You look how Dustin's completely turned his life around into being just, an incredible... He's got the fountain of youth. He looks like he's 25. And I think he's like 70. I don't even know.
Him and R-Truth. That's why I think they team together. They've got some weird thing going on.
Yeah.
The best.
They're actually 26. So,
Combined.
yeah. What would that make each of them? I bet 13.
Pretty much. And also, was this something? Obviously, you're in the ring right now for Impact Wrestling. Obviously, I would assume the plan was from the moment you got to NXT and WWE. The plan was not necessarily to ring announce. You were like, I want to get in the ring.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So when I first came on board, when it was FCW, I was told once they figured out that I could announce, they were like, "Oh, great, do that." And then I was like, "Okay, that's cool, but I still want to wrestle." And then they were like, "No, it's cool. Get in however you have to get in." That was the mentality back then. It was like, just get in there, and then you'll transition. They'll find a story for you, something. And then, I didn't stick around long enough the first time to see that through. So who knows? It may have happened. It didn't seem like it was going to happen. But if I had given it more time, who knows? It may have. Back then, Johnny Laurinaitis was the head of talent relations, and he was always like a really big proponent for me and getting me doing stuff and all that stuff. So I'm sure if it had been his call, he would have definitely capitalized on it and got me, doing some stuff in ring and all of that. But then when I started again, it was like starting over.
Yeah.
Because the whole team had changed. So
And
the
they
people
only
who
knew you as a ring announcer.
Right.
So you came back and they're like, well, great. And for them.
Well, we kind of slid in a little bit because they were saying we were going to roll with this other thing. So again, to do that, Vince needs to see me, right? So how's he going to see me if I'm training in NXT? So why not do that and get up on the road again? But the whole time I was saying, do not make me a ring announcer again. And they tried. I think it's just Vince sometimes gets something in his head, and then that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because when we were pitching that, he was kind of like, who's going to ring announce? And I was like,
oh,
one of the 8 other people standing right there.
There's 8 Charlies behind you.
They would love to ring announce.
It goes to show how good you were, though, obviously. They're like, well, no one can do it. Like, so just get out there.
Yeah.
But is that part of the problem that, much like in Hollywood or anything else, that once you're cast as something, they can't see past that?
I think so. I think if it gets too far in, then yes. I don't know if people remember that Summer Rae was ring announcing at NXT, but she only was doing it for a little bit, and they used that story to turn her into a wrestler. Now, had she gotten all the way up on the main roster and been ring announcing, she probably wouldn't have been able to do that.
Right.
So it's just a timing thing, I guess.
Well, we've had over the last couple of years, Alex Riley's been a regular guest on the show a number of times, and he flat out told us, he said, look, I've been trying to get back in the ring, and I flat out told him, I said, guys, give me a chance in the ring. If it costs me my job, I'll own it. And that's exactly what happened. They put him back in the ring for a little bit, but they ended up releasing him. And to his, I'll give him a lot of credit. He went out the way he wanted to. He went after what he wanted, and sometimes that's what you have to do, and that's what you chose, and good for you guys.
Yeah.
It speaks to your talent, though. I mean, not everyone, a very small percentage of people can be a good ring announcer or a good commentator. So when they find someone, obviously like you or like JoJo or like Byron Saxon, they're like, oh, well, they're really good at that, so that solves that problem. I think that's probably what happens.
I think that ends up being kind of what happens. But I don't know. In my case, I just wasn't happy with it. Wasn't enough. I'm like that Prince song where it's like, you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. That's me.
Like,
so this comes from your mother.
Oh, gosh. Let's not get into my mother.
I want to get into you brought up the mother.
Lay down on the couch.
We got to talk about family. People are going to be listening to you wondering everything about you. So we got to go down the list.
Mm-hmm. We know your in-laws, obviously.
What's your background? Where are you from? What's your family like? How many siblings do you have?
So I'm from Michigan. Mm-hmm. I'm from suburban Michigan.
What part of the hand?
I guess the middle.
The palm.
But my family is I come from a very hardworking family. My mom and dad met. My dad was an Army sergeant, so
mm-hmm.
He's a very regimented, serious, but probably the sweetest person on the planet. Like, no one doesn't like Otis. No one.
Otis.
That's a great name. How could you not like Otis? I've never met an Otis I didn't like.
Exactly, right?
Never met an Otis, actually.
Well, there's, Milo and Otis, the pug.
True.
Yeah.
Otis Redding, if you don't like Dock of the Bay, it's just
exactly, leave. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, no, so my dad's really cool. My dad and I are so similar. We are dreamers, but we like to be planned in our dreaming. Mm-hmm. So, we'll save all this money and then do something nuts that makes us happy with it, Whereas, like, my husband will just do stuff. He just does stuff. And I'm just like, wait, what was the plan in that? He's a plan? What? Yeah. No, we don't plan. We just do stuff. My
good
mom,
balance.
I'm losing, guys. I'm losing in the balance. No one is feeling
Cody, are you listening?
My regime here. No.
Honey, where'd the credit cards go? I'm winning again.
I lost them all. They're in the cabinet. But yeah, no, my mom is a very well-educated woman. She has a master's degree. She's super hardworking. My mom sacrificed a ton for me and my brother. I have one brother, older brother. And in doing that, I feel like my mom wasn't allowed to fly as high as she should have. So my mom is a very important part of the story. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, when are you having kids? Why haven't you had kids? All that kind of stuff. It's because I haven't gotten where I wanted to yet. Mm. So I never want anyone to ever look back and say like, oh, you could have done this. Why didn't you do that? I wanted to try it all. And then when I'm done, then I'll have kids and, or kid one, maybe. we'll try. I already have 3 dogs.
Well, Cody,
you have 3, okay.
Yeah. Cody might not plan for that, so be careful.
Just bang, here we go.
He's winging it.
Well, how's it feel to be in the ring now? Because, Impact Wrestling, you essentially showed up with Cody, and bam, you're in the ring like the next show. And you've been pretty heavily involved. Obviously, we talked about Maria already. Pretty good person to be fighting with.
I mean, it's just so easy to be mad at Maria.
Right?
She's
just so good at being awful.
She's just terrible. Like she is one of those beautiful, like naturally beautiful people who's just ugly on the inside. She's just and even just the way that she talks to you makes you want to just reach out and strangle her. Just belittling, but thinks that she's doing you a favor by talking to you.
Queen of patronizing.
Exactly. No, it was great to get to my first match to be with Maria for sure. Maria's just an underrated human being, I think, in general. Just meeting Maria for the first time, I was shocked at how beautiful she was. Like, I was just like, man, this woman, what is she doing? Like, she should really go do something else. No, but
she's a good actress. I mean, you look at the character she played in WWE. That's completely the opposite of what she's doing now. It just goes to show she has a lot of range.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and her with Mike is just great. I think they are two just totally evil people, but evil in different ways. Like, Mike makes you think he's sweet, and then he'll clock you. But Maria, you already know. Mm-hmm. But Maria's not going to clock you, though. She's going to have someone else do it, because she's that sneaky.
She's a planner.
Yeah.
She's drawing you in. And then someone hits you because you're just you're captivated, and you're going like, really? What? You're making me feel really bad right now. Wham, from behind.
Yep, that's how it goes. She's always...
You and Cody embody that good, like at Bound for Glory, to see that you're these rays of hope coming down. It's like, oh, good. They're smiling. They're happy. They're here. Like, beat them up, please. Go beat them up.
No, that was so much fun. That was my first in-ring anything ever. So I feel like it went pretty well.
So how long have you been training, since, I guess, I assume you're training a little bit with WWE, but who primarily have you been training with since?
Oh, gosh. I've been getting pretty much ring time with anybody that I can, which has been great. Like, with WWE, I had the most time training with Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
I did get to train with Norman some, but that was all so cut off because, like, gosh, when did I start doing this? In 2011, I guess. So in 2011, I trained for 6 months. Then I didn't do anything for a long time. Then whenever I came back, what was that, like 2013, I guess? I trained for like 6 months, but then it's not continuous because I'm on the road. So I think people think when I say that I've trained before, I think they think I meant like every day for 2 years, like
right.
Sasha.
Yep.
No, it was very sporadic, very in and out. I'm comfortable because I have like natural athleticism, so I can try most anything. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I can try. Sure.
Speaking of athleticism, a little birdie told us that
I do my research.
You were a figure skater.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For 17 years?
17 years.
That's crazy.
Yes.
How are your ankles still around?
I don't know, and I have the tiniest ankles in the world.
Wow.
Like, they're so
gosh.
skinny. When I skated, I used to have custom skates made, and they still didn't make them small enough for my ankles. So my ankles would always get like bruised up really bad, and like the skin would like rub off of them because of just them not being like tight enough.
How do you do a triple Lutz on tiny ankles?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, like, look at my wrist. That's a really tiny wrist. My ankle is comparative.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then with the bruising, and then it got shaved down even more.
Yeah. I ended up, the only injury I had when I skated was I had to take a year off because I got cysts on both sides of my ankles that were like humongous from just the pressure from them being so like.
Oh my gosh.
So then after that, I ended up like wrapping them a million times before I could skate.
Now, do you feel, because, all of us, no matter what we did as kids or as younger adults, with sports, do you feel the effects of that now? For 17 years of figure skating, that's, it's like I meet ballerinas, and once they retire, they're like, oh, my whole body hurts.
I can barely walk.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, you meet ballerinas?
I met ballerinas.
He's lying.
What app are you on for dating?
It's called Black Swan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot of pain, but there's a lot of problems. Like, it's very embarrassing when I walk in a quiet room. Everything pops. Everything pops. My hips, my knees, my ankles, all of it is popping. And people think it's my shoes, so I just pretend like it is.
Yep, totally.
It's just my body.
Wow.
My whole body. Just popping.
Oh my gosh.
So fun being a human.
So what we should have done is we should have done this interview while skating because I grew up playing hockey. So we could have just that's a different show for a different day. But we'll get on the ice.
How good of a skater are you still?
Pretty good.
Like
not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good.
So we're talking like racing down the ice.
Yeah, I'll race
She's all
you.
about obviously figure skating is the elegance and the.
She's probably
No,
more
I
graceful.
like to race. I
I'll
like to
race
race
you.
too.
Yeah.
I'll race. I used to do this. Now this was in the more childhood days,
Sure.
but I used to take the same. We used to call it power
skating.
Power skating class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to take the same one as hockey players.
Oh wow.
And I used to kick butts.
Oh,
because
wow.
here's the thing: when we would start, I cheat. I use my toe picks to gain momentum, and then I start skating. Y'all don't have toe picks.
Nope.
So you have to start hard. I have like it's like
So-
like Fred Flintstone when he does the little like run in place thing. It's like that, and then boom, gone. And I used to beat everyone all the time. People used to hate it.
What's a toe pick?
It's at the top of the skate blade. It looks like one of those devices that you'd like
And you
cut
dig
through
in the ice
wood.
with
It
it?
like it goes. But
Sure.
it's,
Yeah, that's how you
just on the-
jump.
So you're
Yeah.
gripping.
Oh.
Yeah,
Actually?
it's like an actual pick. Like
Wow. Okay.
Wow, guys.
you guys got to watch The Cutting Edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've watched the Olympics.
I've watched a lot of Blades of Glory.
I don't know that Blades of Glory is going to get you that
it
much
didn't.
knowledge.
It didn't. Not at all.
I used to hate the toe picks, man. When they, not because of I would wear figure skates, but because on the ice, you guys would be doing tricks, doing things, and
Make
if we
big
had,
holes, yeah.
oh my god, make huge holes in the ice.
Yep.
I'm like, damn it, they had figure skating today before this game for sure. Like it was, I'm falling over. I'm just, oh my god.
Well, after figure skating for 17 years, how does it compare to being in the ring? It's got to be. Are there any parallels to that, or is it just a whole other ballgame?
The only parallel for me is endurance. Because when you skate, like your long program is like 4 minutes. Doesn't sound that long, but try falling and getting back up and having to keep going. And you fall a lot in wrestling. You have to keep getting up and getting back going. So I think that has been helpful. The difference is, though, in skating, I don't fall all the way down on my back, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, I think just having repetition, because I was very worried about getting tired in matches and stuff, or not breathing enough and like running out of air or whatever. Hasn't happened yet. So
That's great.
Yeah. So I think I'm good-winded.
How are the wrestlers reacting to all the toe pegs in the ring after you're done with your match?
Well, I haven't tried any, triple toe loops yet in a match. So.
There's her gimmick right there.
New finishing moves.
Right? Well, I mean,
love
17 years of figure skating. Did you get to the point where you were just kind of over it? Or did you really enjoy it all 17 years? Or because I talked to a lot of athletes who really overdid it with a certain sport and they just got burned out by it. Was that kind of what happened? Or
No, I loved it the whole way through.
Wow.
At the very end, I stopped because I was competing for University of Michigan as a
you were a
single
Division
skate.
One figure skater?
I mean, is that what they call it with skating?
Michigan's
'Cause-
Division One. I mean, it's
Okay, I guess so then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was competing at senior level, which is like the highest level. But I wasn't training very much because I had school. So I did one, I think it was in Ohio. Sorry, I had one competition, and it was just short program, which is like 2 minutes, and you have like 3 jumps and 3 spins, and it should be pretty easy. I fell on everything. I fell on everything. And Otis was there. And he was
Otis.
standing there at the door when I came off the ice, and I walked past him and I said, "That was it. I'm done."
Oh,
and he was
no.
like, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm I'm 22. I'm good. I'm done.
So no more.
I don't want to have any more bad.
No Olympics.
Let's
We're not
remember
going.
it good. Let's
Right.
not have this be what people remember.
Were you hoping like maybe nationals team Olympics at one point?
Oh
or-
yeah, absolutely. I trained at the Detroit Skating Club, which is like the factory for Olympians, like Tara Lipinski, Todd
She's
Eldridge.
one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, Charlie White,
Wow.
Tanith Bellman. Yeah, like it was the factory. They were just pumping them out.
Wow.
I find
Yeah.
it interesting that the daughter of Otis, who is a regimented Army, is a figure skater.
Sergeant.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Well,
Sergeant.
Otis was a big time basketball player back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like he knew like Dr. J and people like that. So
That was
he's
during the
got
ABA
like
days, so sure. Yeah.
yeah. He's Otis has some stories.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so now you guys are traveling a ton. I mean, Cody is like, it's hard to keep up with. Every promotion is like open arms. Like it's, you haven't seen this in forever really, because he's just done everything the right way. Like when Cody was in here, he said, look, I'm not going to go in your house and mess up your house and leave. He's like, I'm going to do the best I can for your promotion. And so everyone's like, yeah, come on in. Are you able to get in on some of the action as far as like getting matches yourself along with all the traveling?
Yeah. So I've been a little bit more careful with what I want to do because I don't have the tenure that Cody does. So I don't have the ability to have a match that really helps people that much. You know what I mean? It's just, it's more for me experience. So, it's harder to find, girls to work with that, like I had a match with Jordan Grace, last month. And she's fantastic. Okay. So I get told by my, booker, like, do you want to have a match, in a couple weeks? I said, yeah. I had told him I wanted to have a tag match. Well, he books the singles match and he's like, okay, so I booked you. You have the singles match. It's with this girl named Jordan Grace. I look her up. She's 20. And I was like, oh man. And I was like, Brian, I need to like work on things. Like I don't need to be trying to teach somebody else anything because the blind leading the blind at this point, you know? And he's just like, no, she's really good. She's really good. So I'm like, okay. I meet her. She is super confident. She's been wrestling since she was like 15.
Wow.
And the moment that I realized everything was going to be just fine was I had her pick me up for a Samoan drop just to make sure that I didn't like
Go
hurt
dead weight on
her or anything.
Yeah.
And I went up like a baby. She walked around with me and she was, yeah, you're light. Like, she's like a strong woman
I was gonna say,
competitor.
how large is she? A larger?
She is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Like if you look her up, she's like a strong
will.
woman.
And
Like
who is this for? What
I
company?
don't think she's on
it was
Black
for-
Swan, Johnny.
Probably not.
Ballerina.
it was on Pro Wrestling Magic, which I'm doing a show for them next week, but I am not wrestling this time.
Cool.
I'm just with Cody. He's against JT Dunn. JT Dunn is the guy who decided to put my picture on his trunks. So
Oh, he's gonna get beat up.
yeah,
Those are fighting.
I don't know
words.
about it. We'll see what.
Those are fighting trunks.
Wow.
So yeah, but no, definitely I've had a lot of like ability to talk to different people, and there are a lot of people that I would love to get in with and do different things. This weekend, I got to spend a lot of time with Mandy Leone and Taylor Hendricks, also Sumi and Deanna. They're fantastic. These are all women that I'd love to get in the ring with at some point.
Now, Cody made a list of where he wanted to go, who he wanted to tackle, what was going to happen next when he left WWE. If we had a piece of paper
I have a piece of paper, Carl.
and we're looking at Brandi's list.
Yep.
You said there's still some women, there's some things you want to do. You've got an idea. What's number one on the list of what's next?
Wrestling?
Wrestling wise,
Any opponents you want to have,
or just career wise, because you seem like we've learned you're a woman who plans things out. You quit figure skating. You knew. You were like, I'm done. You left WWE. You knew, I'm done. What's the next thing?
You probably told Cody, like, no, make a list.
Yeah.
Don't just show up.
Quit. At least have a plan.
Write it down.
I wish that was my idea. It was not.
You can say it right now. We'll cut that part out. And say, my idea.
So if we're making your list, what's at the top career-wise? Wrestling, just commentating, anything. What's at the top?
That's a good question. So I would have to say number one of everything on my list is getting to host my own show.
Write it down, Johnny. We're making Brandi's list.
I got it. Okay, here we go.
So yeah,
Make hearts over
hosting
the
a
eyes.
show.
Yeah, hosting her own show, number one. And what kind of show would you like to host? Like, what kind of host do you envision yourself being? Because we're wrestling podcast hosts. So there's a style of show, and there's a style of host for each show. So what kind of show do you envision yourself hosting?
So here's where it gets difficult.
Okay,
Horror.
horror.
No
Yes.
way.
It has to. Well, it doesn't
Big
have to
horror
be
fan
horror.
right here.
Like,
Huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big time. So, okay, so
Look, I just got this.
What the hell?
That is my tribute to Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein.
What?
Scotty is so impressed.
Cool. That's fan right there. You get the tattoo. Wow.
Yeah, I'm so into horror. It's recently just become something that I'm allowed to like let out because when I was like a kid and like growing up and stuff, people would think that was weird. And also I grew up.
Otis was probably like, no.
No, Otis liked it.
Okay.
Otis would take me to haunted houses. He would let me watch movies I shouldn't be watching. That was all Otis. Jill does not like it. That's my mom. Jill doesn't.
I can see that.
Jill hasn't even talked to me about this yet. So I feel like she has to know.
Jill, if you're watching.
Brandi got a tattoo.
hey, the bolts didn't go on the neck.
Yeah.
So
That's
Jill,
good.
it's only a henna.
It'll wash off.
We're talking about as hosting a show about horror, maybe like a show that chronicles maybe indie film projects kind of a deal, or what anything that sticks out?
So I'm open to a lot of stuff. I have a current treatment that I've been circulating around. So we're trying to see where that fits and falls.
Sure.
The thing that I have going is unlike anything that we've seen done. So that's what's good. It's just a matter of finding the right spot for it.
Sure.
So I'm getting pretty close with that, hoping that it'll happen. And then I also have another kind of foot in the door with something travel related. So we'll see, because I'm obviously big on travel because that's most of my life.
Yeah.
and
But yeah.
travel horror is huge.
Yeah.
Seriously, here's
All those movies, you go on the road like, hey, we're going to have a trip. Something fun's going to happen. Something
Yep.
terrible happens.
Yep.
I have a
Everything
friend who
goes wrong.
travels all over the country and goes to different haunts. Like that's his hobby. He will travel to different states and find a haunt in certain city. It's I didn't know idea that.
What's a haunt?
Haunted houses all throughout
Attraction.
the country. There's even Christmas themed haunted houses. He's in I think Texas right now, going to a bunch of haunts.
That's awesome.
I'd
I didn't
watch.
know about any Christmas themed ones.
Oh yeah, Krampus because of Krampus.
Oh yeah.
It's all over the place.
Who's
Yeah.
a Krampus?
Ah,
Who's a Krampus?
What's a Krampus?
Have you heard of the Krampus movie?
No, what's a Krampus, guys?
It's sort of like the anti-Santa Claus, the
Oh.
evil version of it all.
Like the Grinch?
It's a German
Way
based.
worse.
Yeah, like tail. But I first encountered Krampus with American Dad.
Okay.
They had an episode all about Krampus once, and I was just kind of like, did they make all this up or is it real? And then soon after that, I got wind that like the Krampus movie was coming out, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's really like this is really happening.
Now, you mentioned American Dad. You also mentioned Family Guy. Do you watch a lot of cartoons?
I watch a lot of American Dad, Family Guy. I used to watch the Cleveland Show. I think other than that, like, I mean, I'm really weird with television. Right now, Hallmark Channel is on repeat in the house because of the
19
Wow.
Christmas.
movies.
Yeah, it's just Christmas all the time, and that's pretty fantastic. I watch a lot of different stuff. I'm watching House of Cards right now, trying to get caught up.
There you go.
I do Game of Thrones when it's on. I'm big into American Horror Story.
I was just going to say, you have to like American. This season?
It's the best.
Oh,
come on.
I know so many people who are like, I stopped watching after episode 3. I'm like, look,
How?
It stops being an episode of Paranormal Witness after episode 3. Trust me, it gets weird. Because I'm a big paranormal geek. And this season, yikes.
So good. So
Kathy
good.
Bates is the best on earth.
Oh, man.
What's the name of this one? They each have a different name.
It's My Roanoke Nightmare.
Yes. There you go.
Whoa.
This season is essentially
It's a
split
terrible
up.
hashtag.
It's the longest hashtag ever.
Like
This
my
season-
Roanoke? Oh, I can't spell it.
I had to look a million times on Twitter, like, how do I spell it? But no, it's essentially a show inside of a show this season. It gets so weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really well done. They know what they're doing.
That's so cool. Well, we learned something so new.
So number 1 on the list, host your own show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Horror related and beyond.
Horror travel.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is be in a horror film.
Hell yeah.
Writing it down. We're making the list right now. So host a show, be in a horror film. Do you have a number 3?
This is us spitballing off the top of my head here.
All right.
So number 3 would be to hold a wrestling championship.
Hold a wrestling championship. That's great.
Here you go.
We've got
Yay.
Bolted to the table.
we've got one here you can hold.
That's really great.
Wrestling title. Number 4, we're gonna round out a top 5 here. So we can get you
we'll
a great start.
A good top 5.
Because we're planners. You're a planner.
I'm a planner.
Maybe we
is
can
how I
post
do
this on
things.
Twitter and then people think you have horrible handwriting, Johnny.
What's wrong with my...
It's pretty bad.
What?
All those people thought that the list was written by Cody. I wrote that.
That was nice handwriting.
was.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Calligraphy on
how
that.
would anybody think that a man did that? I've got like little swirlies on.
It looks so nice. I thought it was like computer generated. That's how nice it was.
Oh, good.
I thought that was maybe Stardust tapping into penmanship. That Cody's like, he like writes with his hand, just like the Beast and the Beast.
Host shows, horror movie, spot, wrestling title, number 4.
This is all like right now.
Yep,
What I
right
want to do
now.
right now.
We're creating a dream at the moment.
Ooh,
The closest thing in proximity that you just want to reach out and grab and be a part of or make happen.
So I have a current, I don't know how to really say this, but I have a current idea that I'm trying to get across this January.
Sure.
I would like for that to happen. So I guess my creative vision come to life.
There we go.
My-
So the next step there, get a little team,
Yep.
have
Creative
a little
vision.
powwow, and figure out the way to make it happen.
Creative vision coming to life.
This is wrestling though, like my wrestling creative vision.
Love it. Love it. Number 5.
Man, oof.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is.
Life is hard.
You have to just wrap it all out.
Yeah,
How
4
about just
goals.
enjoy the holidays?
Or
That's a good one.
get to
Well-
a soup plantation.
Those are delicious.
Is that your goal?
That'd be my number 5 goal.
And Scotty's going to achieve that later on.
Okay. This one is probably people will crap on it. But
Nope.
No, not us.
No craps here.
You should hear the ideas we
So-
come up with.
so I am technically an Instagram influencer. Mm-hmm. I would like to do an influencer trip.
There
like
you
an
go.
actual trip. Because there are some people who do them all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's what they do. They go to different resorts. They check them out. They pretty much get the whole trip fronted so that they can document it and blog about it and all of that stuff. I would love to do one of those.
You should
that
do
would be
one
great.
and film it, and essentially you're creating your own travel show all on their dime.
And then just put it on YouTube. And then I've got 2 things off the bat.
And you have evidence to show travel shows. Like, look, I'm already hosting my own travel show. I know how to do this, and I'm an influencer. Boom. I think we just created something.
And then just go, oh yeah, and someone was probably murdered here a long time ago. Boom,
Yeah.
the horror.
And then,
Room 307 is haunted.
and then just have somebody run out with a mask on and just run past and be like, and it's haunted.
Yep.
Got it all done.
I'm afraid see, you're saying you're going to put this on Twitter. I'm afraid I'm spelling things wrong now.
Oh, double check.
You don't get a second chance at it. You've got to just take the picture how it is
Yep.
and put it up.
Yep.
So
So embarrassing.
Brandy's list.
please spell Brandi right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an I. Jeez, Johnny.
And a B. My God.
Oh, jeez. He's putting exclamation points after everything.
Well, yeah, because you want emphasis.
Emphasis.
So interesting story about spelling things. So Cody's childhood best friend, they're still best friends, and their family is really cool. They're the Howards. Whenever you, and they're a huge family. There's always 8 million people at the Howard's house. He has it's the mom and dad, the three sisters, and the brother, which is Cody's best friend, and they all have a significant other. So then there's all the significant others. One of them has a baby, so then there's usually a baby, and then there's like 18 dogs. Like I don't even know half the dogs.
So
like they all come.
You're in heaven.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and they're like they're very sweet, like Southern people. The hospitality is amazing. They make you feel right at home. It's a good place to be. Like we were just there for Thanksgiving, and so they have a game that they play. It's called the state game, and so we have these big dinners with like 20 people or so. At the end of the dinner, somebody picks a state, and they write it down on a piece of paper, and they ball it up or, fold it up, whatever, and come to the table. You go around the table, each person, and you have to guess a state. The goal is not to guess the state that was written down. If you do, you have to do all the dishes.
Oh,
All the dishes.
Man.
So you essentially run out of states eventually, and somebody's
going to have to choose it. Yeah. So I have gotten the state almost every time.
Oh my God.
To the point to where now they've had to say, all right, Brandi is exempt this time. She gets to pick the state because
No
she
way.
always picks it. And the catch, the spelling thing is, if you spelled it wrong, you have to do the dishes.
Oh,
so when you
wow.
write it down, you got to make sure you spell it right. Because
Right.
people have done that before. They spell like Mississippi wrong
That's
or
all I
something.
know.
And
That's the only state I do know from the old saying that we had to do. Is
Ohio, every time, Johnny. Ohio.
Ohio. Well, this has been so much fun. Like, we can't thank you enough for being here. And obviously, we hope you guys have an amazing holiday. And, our best to Cody as well, who was in here recently. And, exciting stuff coming on Impact Wrestling. Tapings are going to be, January 5th through the 12th?
January 5th through the 12th. And it seems like it's going to be pretty exciting.
Hell
There's
yeah.
going to be some fun stuff going on, hopefully.
Wait, you might not be deleted by then, will you? With
Gosh,
total
I hope
nonstop
not.
deletion?
I hope not.
Okay.
We're waiting for
I
it.
feel like I'm on Matt's good side.
Oh,
so
good.
Luckily, I think we are too now.
I hope
think.
so. We had him this morning, and I pronounced some things wrong. It was,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh no.
Yep.
Let you know.
He let me know. Yeah.
But nonetheless, very exciting stuff. Of course, at the Brandi Rhodes
That's me.
and Instagram, same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Perfect. And so obviously you guys are going to be traveling all over, and so we wish you the best of luck and stay in contact with us because we want updates, and we're excited to see where Impact Wrestling goes in 2017.
And wrestling fans, stay tuned to our Twitter at Wrestling Compadres because we're
We're
going to have...
at Fox Compadres, you goofball.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
Good thing you never messed that up, Johnny.
All the time. all
At
the time.
Fox Compadres, we're going to have Brandi's list so
Yes.
you guys can
Oh,
see.
boy.
The one that Carrlyn wrote down. We're having Brandi's list.
Wink, wink.
At Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. I'm at Jay Quasto.
I'm at Carrlyn Bathe. I promise that's correct.
I'm at Curtain Jerks. That's not correct at all.
And of course, Dale Rutledge at The Walking Dale. And of course, at The Brandi Rhodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We love you. We'll see you next time. Keep chasing your dreams.